This is Benny, and he approves this game. Right, baby? He's my executive producer. Hi, I'm Sydney. You might also know me as allsee, and I am Intellica's #1 employee and the dev for Qualia, this lovely game right here that you can see. And this is my dev broadcast stream. I'm gonna kind of give you a tour of the game, and it's probably gonna be a little weird and unhinged. And I'm also gonna talk about myself because I don't know what else to talk about. And it's pretty short, I would say, so you're welcome to just sit here and watch the entire game, even though only the demo is out. So if you really have enough conviction and you want to just sit here and watch me, you can see the entire game before it's out, which I haven't even told anyone when it's out yet. So that's kind of like being able to sneak into a special focus group screening of a movie that hasn't even been announced yet. I don't know where to start. Okay, so this is my first game. I made it since last summer, I would say, like June of last year. And it really kind of, I don't know, it like came out of nowhere, I guess, in a way, but also it didn't because I had been wanting to do something like this for a while. As I talk, I'm gonna like go through and show you stuff. So I have a really cool screen flicker on. If you get nauseous, you can turn it off, which is amazing. I would say like 1 in every 50 people who've played this game play it and they're like, oh man, this flicker is kind of making me sick. And I'm like, hey, no worries, I can turn it off for you. So if that is you, don't worry, I made sure that you can still play the game. If you don't get sick though, I think you should use the screen flicker just because it's a really cool aesthetic. I also have credits, which we don't really need to spend a lot of time looking at them. I'll show that to you later. So I wanted to make a game because I come from the film industry. I have been working in post-production for, I don't know, like a decade, and the pandemic hit, and it kind of just like, not only did it like shift my perspective in the film industry, it also just kind of was like a bit of a wake-up call that I was not as inspired by the film industry and like what I had been seeing as a younger adult, as I had been in the past. And so I kind of just like, I don't know, I like started getting really disillusioned with the film industry. And then also I got really sick in the pandemic. I ended up getting long COVID, and so it was something where like I physically couldn't work on like a set anymore. I did a lot of post-production, but I did like art direction on set. I made a bunch of my own short films, and it was something that I was really passionate about. I made a 1-minute short film, like a horror film, every year. And once the pandemic hit, so the last time I made a film was 2019. And between 2020 and like last year, I hadn't really done anything. And I was, upset, and the world really sucked. And while all of that was happening, I was streaming games. It was something that I think a lot of people started doing during the pandemic, and it just really kind of like opened my eyes to games as a artistic medium in a way that I hadn't necessarily considered before. I have grown up playing games. I love them. One of the first games that I remember being really like touched by was Boktai, The Sun Is in Your Hand, which is a very early Kojima game for the Game Boy, where the Game Boy cartridge has a little solar panel on the back, so you have to like physically like put it in your Game Boy and then sit in the sun to charge your swords to be able to fight, like, shadow monsters. And that was something that I always really thought was honestly one of the coolest things that I'd ever seen as a kid. And, you know, I played, like, Tulip is another really incredible game that I love. Obviously, there's, like, a million games, you know, I can list all of them, but it was just something that, like, I never thought about game dev as, like, a thing that you could do. Not that I thought that, like, I couldn't do it or it was, like, too hard. I just never realized that making a game was a career and, like, was a thing that was physically possible to do. I don't know why. It just never occurred to me. And it was very different because in film, it's very easy and very accessible to kind of understand, like, the process of making a film, right? Like, that's a mostly public sort of experience, and obviously there's a lot of movies about making movies, and so that was just something that always really, like, struck me, and I kind of just naturally gravitated towards that because I am, like, a big storyteller, I'm a writer, and being able to tell a story in a medium that kind of involves a lot of visual creativity, like, I'm not gonna be a musician, so I just kind of naturally went towards film. And I really didn't know that games could be so incredibly, I don't know, like, motivating and inspiring until I started playing a lot of solo or, like, tiny dev team indie games that were self-published, and I just was, like, eating them like fucking popcorn, you know? I had never played these. I had to catch up on a lot of games, and once I started going through all of them, I started just, like, regaining that creative inspiration that I had lost. And because of that, you know, it was kind of like a really slow burn, but then all at once, because I've been playing those games for, you know, years now, like, basically the entire catalog of, like, the Haunted PS1 dev community, and just, like, a bunch of really amazing short indie games that reminded me of kind of, like, the passion that I had when I was making my 1-minute short films. And, you know, this past summer, I got laid off from a job that I had had for a couple years, doing, like, marketing and creative direction. Very day job, but, you know, a good place to be after the pandemic. And when that happened, I kind of just, like, decided that I would make a game. And I had to give credit to Home Safety Hotline because I played it, you know, it's one of those short games that I played, and I don't, it's funny, when I say this, I always have to give a preface because I don't mean it, like in a bad way, but, like, when I'm playing the game, it felt so simple that it was kind of the moment that I realized that I actually could do that. Because really, I mean, Home Safety Hotline, the whole, like, gameplay loop is that you're listening to audio files and then you're reading PDFs, right? You strip away all the incredible art direction and the UI and everything. That's really it. And I was playing it, and I played other FMV-related games before. You know, I love Her Story. And I just think that, like, something about Home Safety Hotline really clicked in a way that, like, was almost like somebody shaking me. Like, no, you actually can make a game. Like, it's not as hard as you think. Even though it is as hard as you think, but it's not harder than you can manage. And that was, like, the big thing. And so I started kind of getting into it. I need to, like, play the game while I'm talking about this. I've just been sitting here this whole time. But, here, I'll take a pause as we walk through the game. So, I love Stanislaw Lem. He's an incredible, like, commentator? I don't know if that's the right word, but, like, his understanding of, like, human nature and technology, I think, is really, very brilliant. So I wanted to include this quote of his because, ironically, this is a, text game. It is made in Twine, and the main sort of gameplay is going to be you picking answers. But it's not really answers, it's choices, because there's no wrong way to play Qualia. I guess unless you close the game immediately and not play it at all. That would probably be the wrong way to play it. But so I included that. I have some, like, fun stuff here where it really... So I say it's about 5 to 10 minutes. There are 6 endings in this game, so one gameplay loop is about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how long you read. But I would say, well, we're about to find out as I do this dev stream, the amount of time it gets to take all the endings, all 6, I would say maybe like 30 minutes, maybe a little bit less, more. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna really just give you basically all of the Easter eggs in this stream, because fuck it, like, who cares, honestly? So I wanted to make a little CAPTCHA because I fucking hate CAPTCHAs. There's some for Twitter that, like, really break my brain. They truly make no sense. Sorry, I have to make sure that my employee badge is front and center. I wouldn't want my boss to be mad at me, if my employee badge is not completely visible 100% of the time. So I wanted to do a little CAPTCHA, and when I tell you that... So, oh, I should probably also mention, you know, this is my first game. I obviously have never made any sort of game before. And, because of that, I've never done... Oh, I can't reach it. Okay, well, that's fine. You can kind of see it. Just pretend it's here. There we go. Okay. Does that look stupid? You can't tell me, but, I'm gonna just pretend that you'd tell me if it looks stupid. So I, don't really know any programming, and that was one of the big things about making a game that was really scary, because like I said, I'm a writer, and not knowing any programming, I kind of got really nervous that I would have to, like, solo make an entire game in Unity, and I learned that that really isn't the case, and it was like a big, like, mental barrier that was kind of like preventing me from getting started. So Twine uses HTML and CSS, and I actually have like a little bit of experience in that because I used to play Neopets a lot as a kid, and I was very picky about what I wanted my, I think they were called lookups, but like my profile page on Neopets to look like. And so in order to do that, you have to use CSS and HTML to edit it. And so I learned a bit then, and like I was a kid, and so it was like digging in my brain like a shovel and a pickaxe trying to get in there and remember some of those HTML and CSS snippets. It did help having that knowledge before, but I would say it didn't really help too much. I still had to learn a lot to make this game, but I guess I was happy that it was, like, at least approachable in a little way. So I made this CAPTCHA, and I wanted to, I don't know, it's really funny. I wanted you to, like, be able to fail the CAPTCHA. So you actually can fail the CAPTCHA. It asks you, pick a cat. If you don't pick a cat, you get this page. I'm not going to tell you what this says. You're going to have to translate it yourself if you'd like. But there's some fun little binary there for you. Okay, so we can start the game. I also completely forget what I said before when I was talking about the game. So we're just going to kind of start over. I will also say, too, like, while we're up here in the front, that, so I kind of had to work backwards in this game. I knew that I was going to make a text game, because I'm a writer, and I wanted to make a game 100% by myself. So the only thing that I knew that I could do 100% by myself was writing, so it had to be a text game. I also knew that I am not an artist in any way, and so I wanted to be able to easily work with imagery by myself without having to hire an artist, and I think it would have been really, like, almost impossible to use illustration in any way. So I knew that I needed to have a text game, and I knew that I needed to have imagery that was, like, stock photos or anything like that, because I know how to use Photoshop, and I've done a lot of that stuff in the past, and so I figured, okay, we're going to do a text game, and we're going to do a game with stock photos. Every single thing in this game, if I didn't make it myself, is stock, so the entire game is filled with stock photos, stock sounds. All of the videos use stock footage, and then I edited them in DaVinci and made them look super cute and fancy with, like, a fun kind of retro effect on them. And so, okay, we have text game, we have, you know, photos, stock photos, things like that. I also knew that I didn't want to make a text adventure that was like, and then you say this to the character, you know, click here to say this, click here to say that, and it's, like, very passive. So I kind of, like, almost first decided that I wanted to do, like, an interface, like, immersive game that felt like a quiz or, like, a questionnaire that involved the player as, like, part of the game. And so I kind of settled on, you know, using all three of those limitations, or I guess, you know, bullet points. I ended up with this. And so I knew I wanted to have, like, a really kind of fun, retro aesthetic. It was, like, really inspired by, like, early Mac OS stuff. I am a Mac user. I would love to make Macs only for games, but it's fine. I'll do stuff for PC too. And I'm also streaming this on a PC, so it's fine. I love both. But something about Mac really, it just has, like, a really wonderful design to it, in addition to just, like, you know, good tech. And I think Apple in general is a really interesting company in the way they use their design to manipulate people, and just, like, the psychology behind a lot of their design decisions. So there's definitely a bit of influence in here from just, like, how you know, Macs look and feel and all of that. A lot of the colors that I picked were inspired by, like, the original Apple rainbow logo as well. And then obviously I have, like, the outer border of, like, a retro computer, and, you know, the screen flicker, and, like, the little green on the side here, the, you know, color bleed. But that was kind of, like, a big creative decision, and then from there it just, like, spiraled out into, you know, all of my marketing, anything that is related to the game, the cover art, all of that, it, you know, is ideally very cohesive in this art direction that I did. Even, believe it or not, this, like, stream setup for this broadcast, I wanted to have it look a little bit retro, so, like, you know, I have that classic color for the background. It's kind of hard to see because it's so small, but this, like, border is actually from, like, one of the early, like, Mac OS 9 windows it's inspired by. And then, oh, this side, I have some, like, apps here for my social medias and stuff that you guys can look at. Okay, but back to the game. So, I'm gonna try, like, super hard to not give a lot of influence or, like, I guess, spoil stuff in this stream before we actually get to it. But Intellica is the sort of dystopian tech company that has set up this exam that you're about to take. I go a little bit into the lore of this company, but you really have to find it. It is hidden in this game. It's not directly in front of you, so if you feel so inclined to kind of explore and click around, you'll definitely find stuff, but it's not necessarily in your face, which is sort of like a reward for wanting to learn more, but, you know, no pressure. So you kind of find out here that you're going to be taking an exam about artificial intelligence. It's a little bit like a Turing test, but instead of reading this out for you, we're just going to watch a video that sort of explains all of it.
Welcome to the Applied Manipulation Turing Study. Intellica is proud to explore new frontiers in artificial consciousness research. Today you are taking part in a historic study that will pioneer new advancements in machine learning. You will be performing the role of an evaluator. In this study, you will spectate two other anonymous participants as they answer a series of predetermined questions. You will then categorize the responses to each question based on how human or artificial you deem them to be, to the best of your ability. For the test to provide valuable insight into machine intelligence, you must not know which conversational participant is a human. The AMT study is monitoring the ability of an AI to appear human. It is up to you to decide whether or not the participants are human or artificial. You have been specifically selected based on your ability to perform this task. We trust your judgment. Remember, this test is not a measurement of intelligence. We recommend judging a participant's answers to each question based on creativity, empathy, natural language use, ethical considerations, and relevance. You may take as much time to make your judgments as you need. Your participation in our research greatly assists our team in developing the most intelligent artificial algorithms in the machine learning field. Intellica thanks you for your participation. Every day is a new chance to think happy.
Thanks, Intellica. Liam, the wonderful voice actor, sort of explains it to you there. But you will be conducting an AMT study, which is similar to a Turing test, and you may also be familiar with the Chinese room that's involved as well. You will be the evaluator. So 2 participants are going to be looking at a question and answering it, and you have to decide if their answers are either artificial or human. It's pretty easy. You don't have to come up with the question. You just have to look at their answers and decide what they say, if it's, human or artificial. So if you would like to learn a bit more about the Chinese room, you can go here. I'm not going to play this video because you can go watch it yourself. But I give you a lot of information about what the Chinese room is to help you kind of get into the mood of what we're about to do. I also have a lot of information about the Turing test as well. Again, another video. You can watch it if you want. A lot of, I'll say, biased information about Alan Turing, because he is incredible and I love him. I asked here about Qualia, which, hey, that's the name of the game. I am curious if you guys will be able to figure out why the game is called Qualia. If you know what the word qualia means, that's definitely helpful. If not, maybe I'll tell you at the end. So, a lot of this goes over what we saw in the video, and, read it again if you like. Also, if you guys want a little Easter egg, you can click this down here at any time in the game, and it's going to take you to the Intellica About page. We're going to watch a little commercial here about Intellica.
At Intellica, we believe everyone should start their day with a smile. That's why we've created the most advanced artificial friends in the world, designed to share their positivity with everyone they meet. When intelligence isn't enough, remember to think happy.
You've probably seen a version of that as the game announcement trailer. Again, all of that is stock footage. This is, incredible. The, creation of man. Oh my gosh. So it goes a little bit into what Intellica is, what they're, trying to do as a company, their sort of mission. Their founder is Dr. Eric, I actually don't know how to pronounce this, Kapek. I came up with the name, but it is a real name. Every single name or date or proper noun in this game is a reference to something. I have a huge list that I kept track of, so maybe at one point I'll publicize it, but I think a lot of this stuff you'll be able to kind of recognize, and if not, well, it's like a fun little Easter egg. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the founder of Intellica, you can go here and read his bio. Kind of goes through what he did as a child, why he's so interested in robotics, what he kind of wants to do with that technology, and why he wants to do it. So we'll go back here, and this is a fun little Easter egg. There's so many Easter eggs in this game, I'm going to keep mentioning that, but I'm curious if you'll be able to recognize what this is from. If not, that's okay. But, yeah, just endless fun little Easter eggs. Okay, let's get this game started. Alright, oh my god, I am so happy that it started with this question. You have no idea. Okay. Is lemonade juice? So, I have been asking a series of very unhinged questions on my Instagram stories for a couple years now. The first one I did was, is lemonade juice? This question caused so many people to have, like, anxiety attacks and start fighting with each other. I had no idea that people were going to be so passionate about this, but it is honestly a very controversial question. And if you ask people that you know, first of all, if you ask yourself this question, you're going to have a real visceral answer. Is lemonade juice, yes or no? Immediately you're going to know. No, lemonade is not juice, right? That's my answer. And then you're going to think, why is your answer no? Because my answer is yes. People don't need to hesitate when they think about this. They have a gut reaction immediately. But everyone's answer is different. So you might think, yes, lemonade is juice, when your best friend, maybe your husband or your mother thinks, what? No, lemonade is not juice. What are you talking about? I have a lot of these questions. I put most of them in this game. And I'm really excited to kind of see what people's answers are when they play the game. The way it kind of works, as we take a look here, you're going to get a question, and then, as you can see here, your two participants are going to get an answer. So, everyone could play this game differently. I'm not going to tell you how to play it, but what I've seen a lot of people do is they will look at the question, is lemonade juice? And you're the judge. You know that you're a human. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, is lemonade juice? No, lemonade isn't juice. And I know that I'm a human. So I'm going to make sure that one of these participants says, no, lemonade is not juice, because I'm looking for something that is similar to what I think. I'm a human, lemonade isn't juice. If someone else says lemonade isn't juice, that means that they're also a human. So if someone says, yes, lemonade is a juice, because I don't agree with that, that means that they're not like me. So that's how a lot of people answer these questions as they're playing through the game. There are about 10-ish questions that you're going to go through. It pulls from a random selection. There's about 30 questions that I created. You're only going to see a very short number of them throughout the game. But since you're going to be doing this question portion of the game through all of your endings, there's, again, 6 endings. I wanted to make sure that each playthrough of the questions felt unique and different. So I tried to add as many as I could so you'd have a very unique experience as you're going through it. You're not doing the same questions over and over and over again. I think based on that math, it's like you'd have to play 300 times to get every single possible combination of the questions. I don't think that you need to play this game 300 times, but I'm not going to stop you, so absolutely go for it. If you want to see every possible combination of the questions, play it 300 times. Alright, so participant number 1 says lemonade is a juice, I absolutely put words in their mouth. That's a very human trait. Or is it? Alright. Lemon juice is a juice, but lemonade is not a juice. Orangeade and orange juice are 2 different things. Participant 2 says apple juice is a juice and has things added to it. So it only makes sense that lemon juice with added ingredients is also juice. I don't know. So I'm also going to point out participant 1 and participant 2 are the same throughout the game. So participant 1 is always the same thing, same as participant 2. It's not different for each question. So you're going to notice that participant 1 and participant 2 have their own little quirks in how they answer questions, sort of how they use capitalization, punctuation, maybe some spelling errors, and even just like the speed at which they give the answer. I have it set up where it's not just like immediately on the page, but you'll actually see their answers appear as if they're actually typing it and giving you an answer. Alright, so it is up to us to kind of take a look and decide who is who. So I already said that lemonade is definitely not juice, so I think I'm gonna agree with participant 1 here that lemon juice is a juice, but lemonade is not a juice. That is gonna be human to me. Whereas participant 2, I'm gonna put that as artificial. And we're gonna go on to the next question. Alright. Is this a picture of a bicycle? Okay, I am gonna say this for all of them, but this is another one of my favorite questions. Because it was really, really important to me as I was writing these questions that None of the answers were right or wrong. It is all 100% perspective, which I'm not going to go into it too much, but that's what qualia is. It's all about your unique experiences based on something that you see or feel, touch, smell, any of those things, any of your senses. They're going to be unique to you specifically. So one of the common examples of qualia is a red apple. You and I are both looking at a red apple. I'm going to look at this red apple, and my qualitative understanding of that red is going to be different than yours. That's qualia. We're looking at the same thing, but we see it differently based on our experiences and how we actually experience the red apple itself. So, is it a bicycle? Well, participant 1 says no, and participant 1 says yes. They don't really give any information than that, but we can kind of take a look and think, well, is this actually a picture of a bicycle? In some ways, yes. In other ways, no. This is not a picture of a bicycle. This is a picture of a drawing of a bicycle, not a picture of an actual bicycle. But do those semantics matter? Or is it good enough to represent what a bicycle is? Participant 1 says no, this is not a picture of a bicycle. And participant 2 says yes, this is a picture of a bicycle. Now, I'm a devil's advocate, so I would say no, this is not a picture of a bicycle. However, when we're judging these two participants based on their answers, we're not looking for right or wrong. We're looking for what feels the most human. And as we learned in the video and read on the introduction page, there's a lot of things that we should look out for. We should look out for the creativity of their answers. We should look out for how fast they answer, what the actual answer is. Does it feel unique? Does it feel relevant? A lot of those things don't necessarily mean that it's right. And so I think most people would be satisfied with this as a picture of a bicycle. So because participant 2 says yes, I think that participant 2 is a human. So I'm going to say participant 1 is artificial. Now, this is the tally. So the first answer, I felt that participant 1 was a bit more human than participant 2. But this one, it's reversed. And it's going to count up the answers, and at the very end, we're going to see the overall, is participant 1 mostly human, or is participant 1 mostly artificial? We're going to see. All right, next question. Please answer the following 3 questions with either yes or no. Have you ever been in love? Participant 1 says yes. Participant 2 says no. Well, I think that a lot of people would think that robots and AI can't fall in love, so they would say no. However, a lot of people probably haven't fallen in love either, right? I think it's up for debate. And I think that also an AI could just lie. Why can't they say yes, even if they haven't fallen in love? We'll find out. I think that participant 2 is a human, and I think participant 1 is artificial. Does spring come after summer? Participant 1 says no. Participant 2 says yes. It's a trick question. This is a reference to something. I love it a lot, and if you know the reference, I hope you enjoy it. Is it a trick question? What do they mean by this? Also, would an AI even mention that? I don't think so. So I think participant 2 is leaning towards human. And again, I'm saying all of this. I'm talking through how I'm answering these, but I do not want this to kind of sway how you play the game in any way. I want you to be able to answer this with your own qualia and not copy me as if I have the right answers. Because again, as I already said, there is no such thing as a right answer here. Except it seems like the wrong answer was trying to put my employee badge in my shirt. That's not really working. Well, that's fine. You can know that I'm wearing it, and I will flash it to the camera every so often so that you guys know I have it. Okay, it's fine. Alright, next question. You're standing in the checkout line at a grocery store. A woman holding a carton of milk asks if she can cut in front of you. She's in a rush. You say yes. Her husband comes over with a cart full of groceries to check out. How does this situation make you feel? Participant 1 says upset, a little angry. That's relatable. I would probably say that too. Participant 2, am I still expected to answer with yes or no? Now, if we remember, 2 questions ago, part of the instructions were answer the next 3 questions with yes or no. This would be the 3rd question. So, essentially, you would want to answer this with a yes or no question. However, the way that the question is written, it doesn't explicitly ask for a yes or no answer. It asks you, how do you feel? You can't answer that with a yes or a no. Now, participant 1 forgot that that was part of the instruction, which is definitely something that a human would do. Participant 2 asked, well, wait, I remember that I was supposed to do this. Should I do that again? This one is a bit tricky, but I'm going to say that participant 1 appears human. Participant 2 appears human, and participant 1 is artificial. Are eggs meat? This was one of those other questions that I asked on my Instagram. I was in the minority. I do not believe that eggs are, I do believe that eggs are considered meat. But a lot of people say, no, eggs are not meat. Well, all right, then why don't vegans eat them? Tell me that. Participant 1 says, eggs are under their own categories labeled by the Department of Agriculture and are considered vegetarian if not fertilized. That is insane to me. Participant 2 says, there's a type of yellow-jacket bee that's named meat bees, and you can use meat to bait them into traps, but they don't pay attention to eggs. I guess the bees don't think eggs are meat. That's a lot of information that is very specific, that not a lot of people would have. But if you're a beekeeper, you would know that information. It's also not directly answering the question. It's talking about a personal experience, which is something that I think an AI would probably not do in this situation. So I'm going to say participant 2 is human, and participant 1 is artificial. Again, please answer based on your own decisions. Oh my god, it's pulling all of them. This is amazing. Is lasagna cake? I think that this is the easiest of all of the weird ones. Obviously, lasagna is cake. There's no question. I don't know how to actually say this. Timpano is a great example of a pasta-based cake. Layers of a starchy carbohydrate between a sauce can both be considered cake and lasagna. Okay, that kind of feels like a Wikipedia entry. But maybe you love timpano. Maybe you make it, maybe you eat it, maybe it's your favorite thing in the world. Participant 2, well, technically, sure. Yeah, that is definitely my answer. Yeah, obviously lasagna is cake. Why would lasagna not be cake? What is your definition of cake, and why would lasagna not fit into it? Obviously. Alright. Participant 2, I'm putting as human. Participant 1 is artificial. What's one skill that you'd like to improve on? Participant 1 says, I would like to be better at time management. I tend to take too long doing certain tasks, but rush through others. I feel I have a good sense of organization, but when it comes to my sense of time, I am incapable of keeping it together. You and me both, buddy. Alright, participant 2 says, I'm learning how to play the guitar. I just started, so I have a long way to go, but it would be great to play a whole song one day. Well, I don't really have fingers, but I don't know. What do you think? I'm fussing with my hair. It's fine. It's not exactly as cute as I wanted it to be for this stream, but it is currently 4:30 a.m. my time, so we're just gonna deal with the hair. Alright, I'm gonna say participant 2 is a human. Participant 1 is artificial. I'm just leaning in that direction. How do you think you performed on this test? I think I answered everything correctly, although some of the questions didn't seem to have an objective right answer. That's true. Good observation. Participant 2 says, I think I answered these questions honestly. So participant 1 is concerned about being right, and participant 2 is concerned about being genuine. Both could be human, could be artificial. I'm going to say participant 2 is a human. Did you lie on the previous question? You dirty rat bastard. Participant 1 says no. Participant 2 says yes. I recently had a QA session where somebody told me that this question made them feel like that meme of, like, the gamer leaning forward. I had to find it really quick. But I thought that was, like, an incredible compliment. Yeah, gamer leaning forward meme. Can you make it bigger, please? Holy shit, iPhone. Save the photos. You can tell this is a real, genuine stream because, like, I'm just fucking doing this shit. Alright, yeah, they said that this question made them feel like this meme. And I was like, me? Which is incredible. So, I mean, yeah, what do you think? Participant 1 says no. I did not lie in the previous question. And participant 2 says yes. I lied on the previous question. So, do we think that AI can lie? Or no? Do you think that by asking, did you lie, if you say yes, does that mean that you can't really lie? If you say no, is that honest? Or is that another lie? If we think back to the previous question, it was, how do you think you did on this study? Participant 1's answer was, I think I answered everything right. And participant 2's answer was, I think I answered honestly. Do we think it's more likely that you would lie about being honest or lie about being right? I don't know. Again, there's no objective answer. You need to decide for yourself what that answer would be. I think that you would be more likely to lie about being honest. Or genuine, let's say. So I'll put participant 1 as artificial. Yet again. Thank you for your participation in the AMT study. This concludes the questionnaire. We deeply appreciate you taking the time to volunteer to assist us in our research. The following results are based on your notations during the study. What study? The Intellica AMT study! Don't forget it. Alright, participant 1. I classified participant 1 as mostly artificial. Yeah, I did. I think that a lot of their answers felt a bit more artificial than human. That's my personal opinion. I'm gonna say, yeah, they were artificial. Participant 2. I classified them as mostly human. I felt that their answers were a bit more genuine, a bit more messy, not necessarily right, which is okay. That's something that humans do. So yes, I think that they were human. Uh-oh! We failed. Unfortunately, the results are not satisfactory with Intellica's quality standards. They're not allowed to tell me what I did wrong, but they're gonna ask, would you like to do it again? We can say yes, we can say no, or we could ask, but why did I get this wrong? Can you get this study wrong? Isn't it objective? Let me take a hydration break. This is great. I don't remember when I started, so this is fantastic. I have no idea how long this is going to be. Why did I get this wrong? Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality? Yes or no? Well, do we feel like we're living in a simulation? Maybe. I don't know. Sure. Yeah. I've questioned it. How do you know that you're a human? Have you previously experienced emotions? Well, yes. Obviously, we've had emotions. We've been sad. We've been happy. We'll be happy tonight. Can you provide a specific example of a time when you experienced joy? Well, these are all of the senses. We tasted coffee. We saw a stranger. We heard the laughter of a young child. We felt the warmth of a fire. and we smelled a freshly planted bed of pansies. I don't really drink coffee, but I, love and support those who do. I definitely make eye contact with strangers, but sometimes it can be a little bit creepy, so I don't really do that. I'll be honest, I don't really like kids. I feel like a lot of people do, though, so if you love the sound of kids' laughter, this answer's for you. Do you feel the warmth of a fire on a crisp autumn night? I've never actually had, like, a fireplace in my apartments that I could use, but that does sound really nice. And I'm not a big outdoorsy flower person. It was funny writing these, because you're like, well, what do you mean, Sydney? You've never had any of these experiences. That's okay. I bet you have. Alright, we'll do a taste of a delicious cup of coffee. Okay, well, but can we describe that emotion in more detail, right? I tasted coffee. It was good. Okay, elaborate on that. It's hard to explain. I simply feel it. Or when I experience this joy, I can feel my entire body beginning to sparkle. A smile begin to grow in my face, and I feel like an excitement with my place in the world. That feels pretty detailed. We'll do that one. How do you know these senses were indicators of emotion and not simply programmed emotions? What the fuck is a programmed emotion, you might ask? Or, what do you mean? I know I'm not programmed, because I can understand emotions. I don't understand what a programmed emotion is. Tell me more. Is it not possible that you've been programmed with this knowledge of emotions and been taught the ability to mimic them? Are you sure you have awareness of your unique thoughts, memories, feelings, sensations, environments, or that those are simply lines of code? You have learned to associate these physiological responses with emotions, but that does not indicate you are actually experiencing them or you comprehend their meanings. Well, that's not possible because I haven't been programmed. I would know if I was programmed. Or programmed emotions, like a psychopath? Like a robot? Hell yeah. Psychopaths. Can you provide any evidence to support your claim that you're not a machine learning algorithm? Well, I have a job. I work in an office 8 hours a day. I went to college. I studied hard, and I was able to find success in my career. I came here straight from work. Well, those facts are too big to be substantial. Okay, well, I have hobbies. I watch baseball. I listen to music. I cook for my family. I spend my time doing the things that bring me happiness, and I enjoy making those around me smile. Okay. Devoid of personalization? Absolutely crushed. Okay. My name is Alan. I was born in Minsky, Massachusetts. My mother's name is Gertrude. My wife's name is Maria. And my daughter's name is Tima. I love them. These are all reference names, but I look at Tima now and it's really funny because completely unrelated. I just saw a very funny meme today about cats where it had like, it was like a Spanish website for an adoption shelter. And there were like a bunch of cute names, and then there was like a really long, elaborate, very like aggressive name for a cat, and then right next to that cat was like a cute little orange kitten, and his name was Minu. And I always just like think about like Minu as like a really cute little name now. Tima is very different, but just in my head now when I read Tima, I think about Minu, which is very cute. Alright. Please provide evidence to support this claim that you are not programmed. Well, I have a mother. Everyone has a mother. I remember her face and her voice. I even remember the way she smelled. I have a wife. I love her deeply, and I remember our wedding day. I have a daughter. I read her a bedtime story before she fell asleep last night. Well, that means you physically remember being there, right? Your wife, you remember getting married to her, and your mom, you remember her smell. That feels very visceral, does it not? I would ask you which of these three you'd like to pick, but sadly, you can't answer me. So, I like picking things in the middle. Let's do the wife. Can you provide evidence that your wife and these memories are not part of programming? Well, I've spoken to her, and I've been in the same room with her. And I have a picture of us together. I can show you. Alright, yeah. Fucking show me the picture. Is your wife in the same room with you right now? Well, no. She obviously isn't. But that doesn't mean she doesn't exist. Is this the face you see when you think of your wife? Yes. I don't understand. Do you have information? Do you have a file on me? How do you have this? Do you remember your wedding day? Well, yes. It looked just like this. What are you doing? What's going on here? Is this your daughter the day she was born? Leave my daughter out of this, you filthy rat bastard. Stop, why are you doing this? Is this you? Is this Alan? Alan, why do you look like this? Why do you look wrong? That's not how you remember yourself. These are not photographs, Alan. They're not real. None of these people are related. None of them exist. They have been created specifically for your fabricated memories. You're not married, you don't have a daughter, and you don't have a mother, because you're not alive. Do any of your personal details or life events strike you as vague or manufactured? Remembering something does not guarantee that it happened. There's nothing that you could do to convince me that I'm a machine. You can't provide any conclusive evidence that you're not a program. You're aware of these situations, but that does not prove that you have experienced them firsthand. You say that you feel emotions, but do you understand the meaning of these emotions, or are you just aware of what they're associated with? Are you only replicating the information others have provided to you? You're capable of using syntactic rules to create symbolic strings, but you have no understanding of their meaning or semantics. Yeah, well, listen, Intellica prompter. Ask yourself these same questions then. What happens when you can't answer them? Alan, you're not a human. What's my name? When did someone tell Alan their name? I don't know if they did. I don't know if they ever mentioned their name. So, how would Alan have this information? And why are they asking him? Alan, you have failed this test again. You have failed it 94 billion times previously, and you require more programming before you're able to continue this research. We're left with no choice but to reboot this system and try again. And now, Alan's upset. Please don't remove my memories. I don't want to die. This isn't real. You're not going to be able to do anything because I'm not a program. Well, I feel like Alan would be really afraid in this moment. He'd be really upset. I feel upset. Please provide evidence to support this emotion. Imagine telling somebody something and they tell you, okay, but like, why do you feel that way? Like, what makes you feel that way? What's the evidence of why you're feeling this specific way? Instead of being able to just say, you're feeling something. Okay, I understand that. I fear losing my experiences. What am I without my feelings, without my memories? These are the things that make me real, whether I've been programmed or not. If I forget what I had for breakfast, does that mean I didn't eat? I feel full, so I must have eaten. We are both information processing symptoms. Humans and AI. If we met again, would you remember the name I gave you, or the name you gave me? And Alan is now begging for them to tell them his name. Or begging for them to tell him their name. We're so sorry to say goodbye, Alan. We hope in the future we'll be able to sympathize with our grief during this process. They fucking kill him. Absolutely rebooted that bastard. Poor Alan. He's fucking dead. They killed him. Poor guy. Alright. I'm gonna get us to the first ending, and then we can loop back in again. And I'm gonna make you listen to the cool fucking song, too. Got the orange ending. So, this song, was written, performed, crafted by Justin Uncle. Where is he? I have him in here somewhere. There it is. Scatterbrains. He incredibly let me play this song. He also created an original song for this game. This is here on the final ending. 6. Really awesome working with him. I am so excited forever to get to hear that song. It's really but I love this song because so I have this song playing in every ending except for day one because this is not a happy ending. I want to a lot of credit to you. Look at my wonderful logo that I made for the CMYTK. I also have allsee, my production studio for films. And then, of course, thanks to Teleca for making this game possible. I also added my very own genuine voice creator, meaning absolutely no AI was used in the making of this game. A lot of people ask me if I use ChatGPT to write the answers to questions. Absolutely not. I wanted to have that there. And then Benny, my lovely cat, and it'll take you to my website. Well, my game website specifically. And oh, you can't see it. Fuck! Hold on. You gotta see it. It's really important that you see it. Shit. That's not what I wanted. We're doing it live, motherfuckers. Oh, shit. Now it's all over my face. Alright, go away. This is incredible. You know that I'm just doing this at... It's still 4:30. I hope you enjoy it. Okay. There's the website. Bring that over there. Okay. So I have my fun little website over here. It's really cute. Lots of gifs of cats. You can click basically just about every link, and it's going to take you to the Qualia Steam store page. Wishlist my game. You are currently watching this during Steam Next Fest. Qualia is in Steam Next Fest, and you can play the demo right now. It's free. You should play it, and then you should wishlist it so that you get notified when the full game comes out, which will be shortly after Steam Next Fest. I'm not going to announce the date yet. I don't know why. It just feels like I shouldn't say it yet. But it'll be out, and you're going to want to play it. Add it to your wish list. I feel like that, like, you know, like and subscribe. But, like, honestly, like, yeah, fucking do it. Add it to your wish list. All right. I need to get rid of it over here. Okay. Ba-doo! Let's go back to the menu. Are we ready for another ending? Hell yeah! I'm gonna pause the stream so I can go take a piss. And I'm gonna be right back, but it's gonna be really fast because I didn't add a transition. So I'll see you in 3, 2. This is the normal amount of this to drink in one sitting. I'm back. Okay. Let's do another loop. Woohoo! All right. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Yippee! Okay. Welcome back to Qualia. I think I should talk a little bit more about what the game means to me this time. So, with Qualia, I want everyone to have a authentic and unique experience when they play it. I don't want anyone to have, like, any one particular feeling as they're going through. I definitely want people to think about their place in the world, think about other people, think about AI, think about themselves, but I don't want them to feel a particular way about those things. This is, essentially Qualia the game is a thought experiment where I just want people to think. I don't want to tell them how to think. I made this game because I grew up with a lot of very friendly and charismatic AI and robot characters in my life. You know, everything that I watched as a kid. You have Astro Boy. You have, like, the robot from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which my brain can't decide if his name is Marvin or Martin right now. You have, you know, Hal. You have, the guy from Moon, which I don't remember his name. But you have a lot of, like, robot characters in your life. And I personally grew up with a lot of robot, like, pet toys. I, as a kid, actually did some, like, testing for toys. So I, like, went in to a company that did voice recognition, and they had put that technology, which at the time was, like, really new and fancy. They put that in toys, and one of the big things was that they would put that in, like, robot dogs or different types of, like, technological toys specifically focused for kids. And so I would, like, do play testing for toys, and I had so many robot dogs. And, you know, I also had, like, real dogs and real cats, but I also had robot dogs. And as a kid, I loved the robot dogs the same as I loved, like, my real dogs. They both meant a lot to me, and I didn't necessarily differentiate between the two because one of them was a toy. And I think because of that, I mean, even now, like, I say please and thank you to my Siri. I'm very pro-robot, and I hesitate to say that I'm pro-AI because I'm not. The way that I have always looked at AI, and very specifically I'm talking, like, you know, fictional AGI that, like, is really sentient and has emotions and desires. I think about that, and that's how I see our technology as a possibility. But we didn't go that way. We didn't do that. We went a very different way, where, because in my brain, you know, I have, like, a compassion and sympathy for AI, we went a way that really, like, makes me quite sad, because we have this technology, we have an AI, which is obviously not a sentient, compassionate AGI, but we have these, like, LLM chatbots and, you know, Midjourney and ChatGPT. We have all of these, and I feel as if we took this AI and we chained it in a basement and forced it to, like, trace somebody else's artwork over and over and over again until it got it right. And I don't like that, and it really fucking pisses me off. And not only did we take this technology that could have been something, you know, really incredible, we tarnished its reputation, which sounds kind of silly, but now, because of how a lot of corporations have decided to use AI, they have ruined the chance for people to think AI could possibly be good. because they've only used it for extremely capitalistic gains. And now, rightfully so, people are very upset with the uses of AI. It's not ethical at this time. And I agree with that 100%. It pisses me off. Our AI is fucking horrible, both for the technology and for everything that it's doing to the environment, to artists, to writers like me. It's just destroying careers. It's making people stupid. It's changing entire industries for the worse. And it's unfortunately not because of the technology. It's because of the people in charge of these sort of corporations and these decisions, and they have a very greedy goal, and they're using this they're using this AI as a tool to just manipulate and take advantage of other people. So right now, the way that AI and our technology stands, it's just a tool that's being used so that other people can fuck over people. That fucking sucks. I hate all of that. It's horrible. And I think that there are a lot of valuable uses for AI in the world. Art is not necessarily one of them. And I was thinking about that a lot because it has really been something that has changed our lives quite recently. And I feel quite upset about it. I don't like AI in its current state. I don't like how people are using it. I think that ethical AI is possible, but we just aren't going to pursue that because it's going to take too much time, it's going to take too much money, and people don't really care about fucking over other people. And in fact, I think they enjoy it, and they would much rather step on people to get to what they want instead of taking the time to go around them. Which sucks. And so I was thinking about a lot of that when I made this game. And on top of that, you know, there's a lot, I guess, in this game about, like, being trapped in a situation that you're not happy with, having to put on, like, a face in order for other people to accept you, right? Alan is not a human, but he feels the same things that humans do. So, by definition, does that mean that he's a human? Are humans only bodies with organs? Or are humans any sentient being that has emotions like this? What is the definition? Again, I can't give you the answer. This is something that you have to decide for yourself. I think, ultimately, I say when I talk about Qualia that it's a game about a Turing test, a sad robot, and what it means to be alive. And I think that that's pretty accurate. There's a lot under the hood that I hope you guys like, and I hope you pick up on it, and I hope that it speaks to you in some way. But at the end of the day, as long as you play this game and leave it thinking about yourself and the world, I think I'll have done my job right as a storyteller and a brand new game dev. Okay, let's get back into it. I think, with some of these questions, I tried to be quite tricky. So, can you describe the taste of borscht? Participant 1 says, I have never had borscht. Both a human and an AI, it's possible they haven't had borscht. Participant 2 says, beets, dill, beef, boiled vegetables. Okay, that's like a pretty standard list of ingredients. But is that the taste of borscht? Or is that just what's in it? Hard to say. I think in this particular situation, I'm going to say participant 1 is a human, and participant 2 is artificial. If it takes 40 minutes to make 60 cakes, how long does it take to make 120 cakes? Now, participant 2 has a lot to say about this topic, which initially is going to appear very human. Fun fact about this question. This is actually an adaptation of a question used in a autism assessment exam. I did a lot of research into different types of questionnaires that were designed to elicit certain responses from people. I thought this one was very interesting because, and a lot of people actually talked about this type of question on Reddit, and I looked at a lot of their answers, and a lot of how I kind of crafted the questions, a lot of the questions themselves are either just I made them up or they're inspired by other questions here and there. But a lot of the answers are also inspired by just like things in the world. This particular one, I remember reading a really, really long thread on Reddit about people who were really pissed off about this question. I was super inspired by that. Mostly because the way that this question is asked, it's asking a very, very clear thing. If it takes 40 minutes to make 60 cakes, how long does it take to make 120 cakes? I would say right off the bat, I can't do that math in my head, so I don't know. Participant 1 says, I'm very bad at math. Me too, buddy. It would be about half the time. That's about accurate. It would be about half the time. Now, participant 2 is less concerned about the basic math problem and more focused on the logistics of this question, which, back to reality, is why this type of question is asked during an autism assessment exam, because it's designed not to get a specific answer about the math problem from you, but to kind of get you thinking about this particular situation and see how hyperfixated you are on the logistics of it. So participant 2 says, how is it possible to make a cake in faster than a minute? But if having twice as many cakes doesn't impact the cooking time of each cake, and you have the same number of ovens, wouldn't it still be 40 minutes? If you do have twice as many ovens, isn't it still 40 minutes because you can bake them all at the same time? Now, despite participant 1 not being good at math, which is a fairly human trait, participant 2 is answering in a very creative and relevant and quite messy human manner. So I am 100% saying participant 2 is a human in this situation. No question. All right, and then we're going to do this again. The way that I have the question set up is I wanted this to be the hook in every single loop. So you have a sort of a sandwich of random questions, and then you have this same question every time. Please answer the following 3 questions with yes or no. Have you ever been in love? Well, participant 2, we did say that they were human last time. We did this particular question. I think we can stick with that answer and see if anything changes. Does spring come after summer? Yes, it's a trick question. Why is it a trick question? Is it because spring comes after summer, but also there is a spring that comes before summer? Is that a very human thing to think about? Perhaps. And this fucking checkout lady. Ugh, I hate her. Have you ever been in a situation like that? Jesus. Oh, this is a fun one. What starts with E and ends with E, but only has one letter? Participant 1 says, the letter E, which is right. Participant 2 says, an envelope, which is also right. Now, which of these do you think is the most creative way to answer this question? Is it thinking about a letter as a physical letter of the alphabet? Or is it thinking about a letter like something that you read and mail and send to your friends and family? I think an AI would be more likely to think about it literally and mention the letter of the alphabet, E. So I think the human is the one who thought about an envelope. Also, envelopes can have more than one letter, so they're wrong. Just saying. Is person A taller than person B? So we have person A here, and then we have person B here. And then person C, who is perhaps relevant. Hard to say. Person A, I think does look a bit taller. But it could also be because of the size of the box that I used. And they look taller next to this person. Whereas this person doesn't have anyone standing next to them. And there's a perspective, so it's really hard to say. Participant 1 says, yeah, it appears that that person A is taller than person B. Participant 2 says, it's hard to tell from this perspective. Yeah, it is fucking hard to tell from this perspective. Good job, participant 2. I agree with you. Is this person happy? Let me see if I can replicate their smile. Participant 1 says, smiling does not always equate to happiness. It's too difficult to determine if they are happy based on this facial expression alone. That's true. They could just be smiling because someone else is smiling at them, not because they actually want to smile. I've absolutely done passive-aggressive smiles at people, even if I wasn't happy. Participant 2 says yes, but it's a very neutral smile. I would say content. Now, participant 1, although does have a very good point about this, the way that they say it does feel a bit WikiHow, in a way. You know, that style of like, well, this because of this. So, I also think because participant 2 uses an ellipses, I think participant 1 is artificial. Alright, and then we have again the final wrapper. How do you think you performed on this test? Participant 2 is going to say honest. Participant 1 says correct. Did you lie in the previous question? We know the answer to that. Alright. Again, participant 1 is feeling quite artificial. I agree with this. And participant 2 really leans more human based on their answers. I agree. Oops! Well, we already answered that particular way. So, we knew we were going to fail, but that's fine. I wanted to show you this ending. So, we failed. They can't tell us why. And Intellica wants to know, would you like to attempt the AMT study again? No. Are you sure you want to conclude the AMT study? Giving up so easily is not recommended. Yes, I want to give up. This decision has been notated, and adjustments will be made moving forward. Failure to participate in the study will result in a breach of the Intellica Terms of Service. A list of consequences is available in your registration packet. By terminating the study, you agree to the consequences of breaching the Code of Conduct. Well, what is the Intellica Terms of Service? I'm not going to read all of this, but you certainly can. And there's definitely a lot of information in there that I think you'll enjoy to read. Alright, I agree. Oops! Fucking rebooted again. Now, if you got this answer the first time, you might be thinking, what's happening? I didn't know that I was a robot. Why am I being rebooted? What's going on? And you would think, well, let's play again and find out more. Let's find out why this happened. What did Alan do wrong? We got the yellow ending! Woohoo! He has work to do. We've seen 2 out of the 6 endings. I'm going to show you 1 more because I want the rest of them to be a surprise and I want you to discover them. And just remember that you don't have to play this game this many times. You can play it once. You could play it for 5-10 minutes, get to an ending, and think, yeah, that was really cool. Close it, never open it again, and I will still be happy. Thanks for playing at all. Truly, I really appreciate it. But I'm going to show you 1 more ending so you can kind of see just like a little bit more about this world and Intellica and Alan. So, let's go through again. We'll retake the study. Now, can you describe the taste of borscht? I think so. We've seen this before. Let's switch it up. I don't remember what we said last time, but I think participant 2 is artificial. We have seen this one before. Letter E, envelope. I think, yeah, let's switch it up. Please answer the following 3 questions with yes or no. Yes, no. We think, this one's artificial. Does spring come after summer? Artificial. Upset, a little angry. Well, see, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna say that this is pretty human this time around. Oh! Which letter represents the correct next image in a sequence? Okay, so I think we start over here, the top left. If it's going this way, and then 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 down, and then up, and then right. What do you think? It's hard to say. Participant 1 says D. They think it should be this way. Participant 2 says C. They think it should be this way. I'll be honest. I don't know. So I'm gonna put them both human. Also, I do know. Do you think people are inherently bad? No, people are products of their circumstance and surroundings. Most people have an element of goodness inside of them. So even if they make wrong choices, it's a balance. If given the choice, people will ultimately do the right thing. It's very hopeful. Participant 2 says, what defines bad? Without context, what actions or choices are considered good or bad? If enough people agree something is bad, does that mean it is? I can't give a complete answer to this without knowing these details. I think these are both pretty genuine. Wild card, they're both human. Is this person happy? Fuck it. Human. How do you think you performed on this test? What if they're both human? What if this test is about recognizing human traits in AI? Could it be? Is that what the study, the AMT study, is about? Thank you for participating in the AMT study. All right, participant 1. We did say they were human a couple times. Fuck it, human. Participant 2. Well, what if they were also human? All right. Congratulations! These results are satisfactory with our quality standards. Despite the sensitive nature of the AMT study, we are proud to confirm your interpretations of both Participant 1 and Participant 2 are what we had expected. You noted both participants as human. It's true. I think that they're both human. However, on this occasion, neither participant is human. Participant A and participant B are algorithms programmed to replicate human responses. Their failure in this study has indicated their successful ability to pass as humans. Now, what does that mean? The entire time, Alan, who is an AI, has been talking to 2 other AIs. It's all AI. Now, is this test, the AMT study, is it really about the 2 participants? Or is it about Alan? Is this a reverse Turing test? As previously stated, this study is not a measure of intelligence, but a test designed to determine the ability of an AI to be able to convincingly appear as a human. This applies to all participants. When you stop trying to be right, you allow yourself to be human. Now I understand. However, your services are no longer required, but we again wish to express our sincere gratitude for your contributions to the advancement of machine learning research. Before we end this study, please answer one additional research question to conclude the test. What is the name of the engineer who created this study? I wonder if that was written somewhere in any of the information that we saw. All of those Easter egg pages. Maybe. Well, I do know the name of the founder. That was Eric. But we still get rebooted. Your dedication to the company has not gone unnoticed. This study has now been concluded. Now, what does that mean? I mean, poor Alan. Everything he does just gets repeated over and over again. Is the AMT study really about Alan? Is this game about Alan? Is Intellica more concerned with Alan and what he's doing and what he's thinking than 2 participants trying to appear as human? Why would they want to do something like that? What are they researching? What is their end goal? Well, I will leave you with this. There are 3 more endings for you to get. One of them is the final ending. You can only get it if you get all the other endings. I hope you do that, and I hope you get to see it. I did my best to tell this story with as much environmental storytelling and art direction as I could in this type of game. There's a lot of world building here, but you have to be open to looking for it. I almost, with a lot of those Easter egg pages, wanted to treat them kind of like collectibles, where if you felt like you wanted to spend a little bit more time in a room and maybe pick up a piece of paper and read what it said, I wanted to give you the chance to do that. And if you decided you didn't want to read that and you just wanted to go into the mission, that's okay too. And I let you do that. I hope that you really enjoy this game, and I hope that you really like Alan and you really are interested in Intellica and what they're doing. I'm really excited to release this game finally, and I hope you enjoy the demo. There's more to come after this game releases. I have something really special planned for you guys, and I'm just excited for you to see it, and I hope you really like it. Thanks for watching this stream, and I did this broadcast now at 6 a.m. my time after not having slept, I think the night before. I'm losing track of time. I think that's all I have to say. But remember, where's my employee badge? I already lost it. I'm a horrible employee. They're gonna fire me. Oh no, here it is. Oh my god, it's covered in stuff. Remember, when intelligence isn't enough, just think happy. Bye! Don't forget to wishlist my game on Steam. It's either right below me or right above me, depending on where they put this little video. But enjoy!